On this week's episode of Passport to Maryland Cannabis, we're celebrating the start of summer, Father's Day, and of course, we are continuing our educational series around the endocannabinoid system. We're highlighting our small business of the week, and we're showcasing some events that you don't want to miss out in June and July. So be sure to tune into this week's episode, share with a friend, and let us know what you think. It only gets better from here. Welcome back to another episode of Passport to Maryland Cannabis. This is your way of staying connected to what's going on in the Maryland cannabis ecosystem. For those who are joining us for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're happy to have you here. For those who are joining us from last week, welcome back. Thank you so much. You already know what we've got going on, but for those who are tuning in, we've got 3 segments. One that's called What's Trending, our small business spotlight, and then we wrap it up with a huge section on workforce. This week, we will continue to cover what's going on in the Maryland cannabis ecosystem, and we want you to stay connected.
You can sign up for our email list to get information. You can get jobs, resources, and all the top things that's happening here in Maryland. You can join us. Every month we host a variety of events from educational to social to bring and build community. You can also visit our website and our social channels, which are awesome to keep up to date on what's going on. We want you to stay connected.
All right, now that housekeeping is done, I want to shout out Marijuana Matters. Thank you so much. I am a part of their M2 bootcamp, and a lot of the changes that you've seen happen in front of the scenes or in front of the camera and behind the camera is due to all of the support that I've gotten from them since the beginning of the year. So once again, shout out to So our first segment is What's Trending. Let's talk about what's trending. Here are the top stories that you may have missed this week in Maryland cannabis. We're moving into our small business spotlight of the week, and we are happy to spotlight Stribble Treats. Stribble Treats is a family-owned and operated made-from-scratch bakery. Is your mouth watering yet? They provide mouth-watering desserts with all the ooey-gooey deliciousness. Stribble's Treats is super supportive of the Maryland cannabis ecosystem, which is why I am so honored to have them as our small business spotlight of the week. If you head over to stribblesdistrict.com, you can get up-to-date information on what's on their menu, what they got cooking, what's baking up. You can get gift cards for your loved ones, read testimonials, and you can also see what they have coming up or even where they'll be. So once again, shout out to you, Stribble Treats. You are our small business of the week. If you happen to have a small business or organization that supports the Maryland cannabis ecosystem, feel free to go to our website and fill out our small business directory form. Cannot wait to show you what we've been cooking up for our small and adjacent cannabis-based businesses here in Maryland. You are going to be so excited. So if you've been following along, you know that June is endocannabinoid month, where we're talking about the endocannabinoid systems, ways to help balance your endocannabinoid system, and ways to use cannabis in a way that really stimulates your endocannabinoid system. But I actually want to talk about something that many of us talk about in our small circles, and that's tolerance. All right, so the elephant in the room is sometimes your tolerance can kind of go a little bit out of whack. And that can be due to a few different things. It can be your environment. It could be your current stress levels. It could be just you feeling a bit out of whack. It could also be the Mercury retrograde. But no matter what has thrown your tolerance or your endocannabinoid system off of balance, there are a few different ways that you can get squared away, okay? Because nobody likes to spend a bajillion dollars in medicine that isn't effective, right? If you ever reached a peak where you have continuously consumed and you may have overconsumed and now it's not effective, it may be time to call in your little friend CBD. So let's talk about CBD, right? Because everybody talks about CBD in a way that feels very much like CBD is an adjacent to what cannabis is. And one thing's for sure, cannabis, CBD, different ways of using therapeutics in your system may not work for everyone. And that is okay too. So before you go emailing me and say cannabis is a powerful medicine that works for everyone, you're wrong. Those who have experienced traumatic events around the usage of cannabis may not necessarily take well to your, but it's the miracle plant. Trust me, I know. So, what's one way that we can highlight the medicinal benefits of the plant, including CBD, without sounding like a cheesy salesman who's shown up at your door with a bottle that looks like he printed it out in his house? First, let's talk about what CBD is and why it's important for your endocannabinoid system. All right, so I've got a great article here from Harvard, which talks a bit about CBD. So let's go ahead and read along just like we did back in school. So CBD stands for cannabidiol. It is the second most prevalent of the active ingredients in cannabis. So for those who are paying attention, go ahead and let me know what is the most prevalent active ingredient in cannabis. I'll send you a sticker. While CBD is an essential component of medical marijuana, it is derived directly from the hemp plant, which is a cousin of the marijuana plant. While CBD is a component of marijuana, one of hundreds, get that? One of hundreds. By itself, it does not cause a high. So the article continues talking about the health benefits of CBD, how it's been touted for a variety of health issues, but the strongest evidence in effectiveness has been treating epilepsy, has been helping reduce the number of seizures, among other things. Now, CBD is not without side effects. It can induce nausea, fatigue, and irritability. At the end of the day, CBD is what? Not weed light. CBD is a very important part of your wellness routine. And I encourage you that if you feel like you are topping out a bit on your tolerance, one, check out using CBD. Also, check out Dr. Healer's 6-day program to help jumpstart your tolerance, your endocannabinoid system, which I do on a very quarterly basis because just like your car, your body needs a little bit of maintenance too. All right, we're sliding into our community connection segment where we talk a bit about what's coming up as far as it relates to events in Maryland and the things that you should be paying attention to. If you happen to miss Explore Maryland Cannabis's events, it is currently the 20th, so you have 10 more days to get in on the action. At the end of the month, we have a very special treat for those who have been thinking about membership. If you've been thinking about membership, because I know you've been thinking about membership, be sure to join us for Membership Week. So every month or so, we have a Membership Week where we talk a bit about what the membership is, some of the benefits that you can get by joining the membership, and also what our plans are for growing and cultivating an informed cannabis community here in Maryland. So if this sounds like your jam, be sure to tap in, join the membership, or join us at the end of the month for our Membership Week. I'm also going to slide in last week's community event. AM Vets is hosting a Veterans Healthcare Summit. I'm going to clip some of the things I said from last week so that just in case you missed it, you can go ahead, sign up, register, support this particular summit. And if you've already seen this, you can just go ahead and skip. It's okay. I give you permission. I also want to shout out our friends over at Columbia Care. They are the dog dispensary to note, the neighborhood dog dispensary in Chevy Chase. That is Columbia Care Chevy Chase. They have a puppy event coming up. I'm going to go ahead, plug the flyer right here. So if you are happen to be in the area and you've got a pup who you want to bring around other pups and find other pup lovers, I heard there was a cake. Be sure to join them for this event. It is June 26th, which is Saturday. So if you don't have anything to do and you got a pup and the weather's nice, head on down to Chevy Chase and check out Columbia Care. All right, our job of the week goes to a fan favorite, one of my favorites, a Explore Maryland Cannabis Award winner, Evermore Cannabis Company. So we all know Evermore just dropped their chocolate discos if you have been following along via the episode. But Evermore's got some position but Evermore's got some positions open I think that you all should really take a look at. So the job of the week, since edibles is on everyone's mind, is the edibles inventory associate. So if you have been paying attention, last week we talked a bit about another inventory position, but let's take a deep dive into what they are looking for this role. So love the clean job description. Job title is Edibles Inventory Associate. You report directly to the Director of Processing under the Edibles Division, I'm assuming. This position is to assist with the inventory control of cannabis infused edible products in a kitchen lab hybrid setting. The Edibles Inventory Associate is responsible for meeting scheduled deadlines and in complying with all local and state laws and regulations, as well as all company policies and SOPs. Now, this is where I want y'all to tap in. To be successful in this role, applicant must be able to follow directions precisely, maintain consistency across large volumes of products, exactly execute all company SOPs, and adhere to strict PPE and personal hygiene regimens. So that's super important. Like we mentioned before, in this medical cannabis market, you gotta be a bit tighter when it comes to the way you interface at work. So whereas you may not necessarily have to worry about PPE, you are working with medicine that is being sent out across the state. So gotta keep it clean because don't nobody want a lawsuit on their hands. Let's go over the duties and responsibilities. There's a few of them there, but the essential functions are sanitizing, waste disposal, executing inventory procedures, maintaining accurate accounts, making sure that you comply with the MMCC regulations. Also, super important when it comes to cannabis, you have to maintain and protect the integrity of all proprietary company intellectual property. Woo, that's a mouthful, including but not limited to ingredients, methods, recipes, equipment, and all other internal company information, ideas, and discussions. So that means you cannot give away the secrets. Just like KFC, you don't get all of the 12 herbs or 11 herbs and spices. Don't go giving away Evermore's 11 herbs and spices because you'll be in a bit of trouble. Not only will you probably lose your gig, but you might get sued. Of course, let's talk about qualifications. So they want you to be 21 and older. You have an associate's or a bachelor's degree, prior experience in working in regulated environments, that's preferred. This is in bold, ability to accurately count and record finished units and record in written logs as well as metric. So tight to details, y'all. Thrive in a fast-paced environment. Be adaptable. Pass a background check. Work 38 hours or more. Be observant. Be able to problem solve. Must obtain appropriate state med badge. I'm actually going to reach out to them and is it a medical badge? Are you asking for this person to be a patient? I'm going to get some clarification on that. Of course, they talk a bit about the working conditions. Make sure that you're able to, if you've worked in inventory position before, these are very similar conditions and requirements. You don't have any direct reports, and that looks like it is the end of that job description. The only thing that I don't see, which I hope becomes a standard, is pay. because people need to know how much they're getting paid before they start working. So shout out to Evermore. Looks like a great job description. If you feel like you fit, that link will be in the description box. And of course, we'll clip and put this in heavy rotation so that, Evermore can get the job filled. All right, so your workforce tip of the week is to make sure that you are planning for success. How do you do that? You got to read. Okay, you got to read. And even if you just skim, check out the bold points, at least have a comprehensive understanding of what you're reading. So let's talk about it. This week in the Explorers Club, we are reading the Cannabis Manifesto. So, what I recommend is that if you have never read this title by Steve D'Angelo, he is a powerhouse in the cannabis industry. This is a really great read. It was published almost 7 or 8 years ago, but it's a evergreen book as it relates to cannabis. So be sure to check that out. The way in which it's broken down, of course, we'll talk more about it this week in the membership, but the way in which that it's broken down allows you to really understand why the cannabis stigma exists, why the industry is where it is, and it empowers you to help build a new industry ecosystem plan of sorts. This is one of the first books I read when I was, just a touch interested in cannabis. And this just jump started and kicked off my journey here in cannabis. And I'll be sharing this along with a few other titles that I know will prepare you for success in the cannabis ecosystem. So be sure to grab this title. It's, of course, available at your local libraries, in Barnes & Nobles, Amazon. We'll drop a link down below where you can purchase a copy of it. And you can also join us for the membership kickback this week. We'll be talking about books for success. So if you're looking to level up a little bit of your cannabis knowledge, because it's new, everybody don't know everything. Feel free to join the membership and get that access. I would be remiss if I did not close this episode by saying happy summer. Wear your mask if you're not vaccinated. Stay safe. But also happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, all the cannabis dads, whether or not you are a cannabis patient, your child is a cannabis patient, your loved one is a cannabis patient, or you just believe in the mission, including my father, Jimmy Reed. He lives on the West Coast, and I got an opportunity to see him a couple of years ago when he came to visit me in Baltimore, and he brought me some of the greatest I believe in you as my child items. He brought me a Northwest leaf and a magazine with Jim Belushi on the cover of it, and he was like, cannabis, I know. So and he's also a cannabis consumer, so fruit don't fall too far from the tree. And I think that is where I get a lot of my passion and connection and authenticity when it comes to this plant. So thank you, Papa. Love you. Happy Father's Day, Dad. I will see you all next week. We will be talking about what's to come for July, because July is coming, y'all. All right, so thank you for hanging in with us to the end of this episode. We know that you are truly getting all that you need, but if you need a little more, you can always leave us some feedback, shoot us an email at hi@exploremarylandcannabis.com, and we will see you next week. Happy summer.